None of this should have happened. The Emperor shouldn't be dead. The Pact Scroll shouldn't be missing. And the innocent shouldn't be presumed guilty.
But this is the reality of the Second Accords of Arendor.
Thrown headfirst into this new reality, two mismatched groups of adventurers have only one course of action. Run, fight, hide.
All in the Imperium believe the first group responsible for the murder of Emperor of Drakarn, but something deep, dark, and unknown is acting behind the scenes.
And the other, through no action of their own, falls into possession of the Scroll of Kaldrathar and finds themselves tasked with its protection from a mysterious threat.
Left with more questions than answers, these adventurers must unravel the truth. Welcome to Tabling the Narrative, a World Anvil sponsored podcast where we take stories to the next level with deep dives into the most crucial moments, like the ones we're talking about today. We're your hosts. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sage. And in this episode, we are reviewing the last two sessions of Oathfire, which, if you didn't know, both Jen and I are playing in.
Yeah, we're both on Team 1, but today we'll be piecing together both sides of the story played out by both Team 1 and Team 2.
We're going to start with some special moments highlighted by the cast, spend a little time talking with the cast themselves, and break down a few specific scenes from these next sessions. We're also going to take a peek behind the scenes and interview our GM, Ghost.
To get us started, we asked the cast to share some of their favorite moments, so let's get right into Cast Lights, where we review these very same cast highlights. Okay, so the first cast light we are going to look at is when Team 1 was hiding from the guards. It started with us running from the guards because, there was blood all over somebody and the guards walked in and the Emperor was dead. So we fled to the boat and then we fled to this area that was supposed to be the least guarded area. But apparently there was a patrol.
The marshals come through here, but 2 or 3 times a night, usually before the bell tower tolls, which is due any moment.
That is good information. Thank you.
You'll stay safe, Sarah Hawk.
Thank you.
He turns and scurries away into the darkness.
I'll relay the guard information back to the team.
I'm going to spend a fear. 2 fear. You hear what sounds like unorganized marching, more of a patrol. 2 fear because the patrol has been increased under word of some suspicious activity in the area. I'm going to set a timer at 6.
I'm going to tell Zeus to fly up onto a roof, try to stay quiet. I'll fly up there with him using my skilled silent flyer.
So as you fly up high and you land with that, what was the number?
16.
16 fear. I just heard the fear and got excited. As you land with your 16 with fear and you look, you're startled to see they are much closer than you expect.
And my friends are coming.
Let's go.
I'm going to spend.
Grab them and go up.
I'm going to spend 2 fear.
Uh-oh.
As you hear.
Yeah, so I told them that it didn't make any sense why I have all of us out here. Like, it's
it's it's a special occasion. We have this celebration. You hear these soldiers talking to each other while they're patrolling the streets, looking around. The two in the front are just sort of like slack-jawed a little bit. And he's like, yeah, that's what I said as well. Like, why double up the patrol on a night at the festival? Like, we want to have fun at the festival too, right? That's what I thought too. But I guess some people had some problem at the festival, made a big boom. There was a fight, and I don't know what happened. But so now this is what we're doing. So, okay, well, I think it's not really fair. So we do this quick. We go back to the festival, yeah? So as they're sort of walking through, they're not quite on you yet.
I take to the sky and head up over, not flying over them, but flying away from them in the night.
I think it's time.
Oh no.
Group action roll.
All right.
Oh no.
We got to get one in. Your DC for this is going to be 15.
I tell Halim, your skills are truly indispensable, and I don't know where we would be without you. Soldiers bond, 3 hope.
Nice.
A 9.
9. Okay.
I rolled a 5 with hope.
You rolled a 5 with hope. All right, so a 5 does not meet the 15, so that's -2.
Oof.
I rolled a 15.
Oh, okay. 15. We're bringing that to a -1.
Okay, that's it. So I get an additional +2 from being a great winged beast. An advantage. All right, let me see what we got here. That is going to be 15, 16, 17, 16 with fear.
Describe to me how you each hide on these rooftops as these guards walk by.
I think Hal takes them up, and this is like the rooftop, and he'll drop them off on the rooftop and then kind of swing around in the night to see, which way they're going and how many there are. And then he'll land on a roof somewhat farther away.
I'm leaning up against a wall and alleyway. Actually laying down with my coat covered up, my hat in between my hands. I'm going to look disheveled and urchin-y.
Shurian ensures that there's no glint of moonlight off of his armor or anything like that. He makes sure he's covered up. Basically, he just silences his muscles and just focuses on his breath and makes sure he doesn't let out any sound.
Being dropped right after Shurian did. She sees that he's not hidden that well, so she'll go over there and be like, "They're coming. They're right there." And she just kind of moves him like that, and then she just lays on the roof.
And as you all get into this position, as you land, some loose stone on this old roof, some bricks fall, and they hit the ground below. And the guard's like, "Oh. Did you hear that?" "Yeah, I heard that. What? Fan out. Look over there. Look over there." And they start to look around. And suddenly you hear one say, "Stop!" And they all sort of turn, looking down the alleyway that Geen is sitting in. "You there, stop!" And they all start running down this alley right by Geen. They see the Draconan urchin at the end of the alley as he says, "Oh," and he starts sprinting down the way as they all give chase, clearing out of the area. You can see in the distance as they catch up to the urchin and tackle him to the ground.
Yeah, so in the midst of hiding from these guards of the Imperial Guards, Im, who is a ghost, is also the character I play, by the way, uses an ability called Spectral Mist. And this basically allows Im to turn anyone within close range incorporeal. And so Im does this thing and touches Mist's and Shurian's shoulders. Ghost initially describes it as this feeling of a little bit of cold as they're passing through the Veil of Stillness, which is essentially the kind of underworld-ish. It's just death. And I ended up describing it as something that is very super cold, very chilling, very empty, something super sad. And I also did this to Geen, who was about to kind of face off with the Imperial Guard, and I just kind of turned him incorporeal, took his hand, took him into the ground, and flew them off to this temple of safety.
Yeah, I thought it was super funny how you were describing this pit of despair that you sent Shurian and Mist to. And then you're like, I'm just going to go do this to Geen too, because why not? And I was like, that was a place that next time some forewarning would be nice, although most of us have experienced it now. So you have to make Halim feel it now.
Yeah.
At some point, we have to make him feel it too.
I'm keeping that one, and I'm keeping that one for sure. That card, love it. Definitely going to use it again. Super useful.
Okay, so it's like a key moment that was very long. Like lots of little moments within fleeing from the guards there. Team 2, and the first one is getting Dipper drunk at the festival.
These loud ruffians, deep in their cups, run into you, breaking you from that moment. Excuse me. Sorry. It's you're right there.
I'm sorry. I must have been in your way. Friends. I spilled your drinks. I seem to have stained your boots. Please let me get those for you. I drop to my knees and pull out like a dirty rag and just start cleaning their boots with no shame.
Hey, boss. I didn't do it.
I know. You look like you need a drink.
A drink of what? Tea?
Whatever you want. Tea.
Yeah, that's my drink of choice, personally.
Let's go see if they have some.
Oh, I would sure love to get a drink with you all and hear tales of all of your exploits. Have you ever gone on a great hunt? Or saved a princess? Or, I don't know.
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of fun with you.
Have you ever had honey mead?
I've had honey?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Come on.
Okay. Yay!
It's like a honey tea. We'll get you one of them.
Honey tea. Let's go.
Well, I'll wink at Bash and start walking.
So as you approach the vendor, who you've probably spent far too much time with. Oh, you found another one, did you?
Oh, yeah. And I'll slap down some more gold.
They've told me that you serve the finest of drinks here. Something called honey mead, an exotic beverage. I'm so excited to try it.
Bro. Honey mead? Yes. Yes, we certainly sell honey mead, or just mead. Would you like to try some? Maybe a little cup, just to.
Oh, just a
give
sip.
him the whole thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. As they hold out this tankard full of honey tea.
2 hands on it. 2 pinkies out. I'm just like with medicine, one go.
And I'm watching him.
Heart chugging.
Would you like another one?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have
Put
any
the coin
gold?
back on the table.
Oh,
Oh.
perfect. Here we go.
Gold, yes. These bits that everybody likes. How many would it be? I'm holding out just so much spare change in my hands.
The bartender looks over at Follow and says, just this many? Just starts randomly taking coins out of your hand.
Oh yes. I've learned something in my travels that something called the tip.
Let's be clear that at the beginning of, I think, our very session 1 of Oathfire, Dipper literally was with a bartender and was like, oh, I only drink tea. And basically does not get drunk. This is not Dipper's thing. And then he's just totally tricked into thinking this honey mead is like a honey tea. It was so funny. So speaking of Dipper, we also have one of our cast lights is Dipper crashing through this stage.
Telling a tale of a great Draconian folklore. And as this halfling dispatching this beast and it falls into the stage below, you see steam sort of rise up. Glory for all Dracona! And he throws the spear into the hole of the stage below. Again, smoke comes billowing up.
I would like to run and jump up on the stage and just bring my axe down on the middle of the stage, hoping to crack a hole through where I know there's a false floor.
Okay. Give me just attack. Roll a standard attack, and the DC is going to be 17.
With fear, that's a 20.
All right, describe to me how this happens, how you bring this down, and how you get through this floor.
I think because of how hard I hit it, I do crash through the floor, but I think it's messy. I kind of land in like a heap, just kind of like on my back, get the wind knocked out of me a little bit.
As you break through that, you quickly discover that there's a bit of like an aqueduct system underneath the garden here, and you just go into it. The steam was actually a byproduct of all of the steams of this aqueduct system, and as you fall, you hit some mossy stone below, and you take minor damage.
There's a situation where Dipper actually saves one of the halfling actors. So the actors kind of agree to help hide them, tell them to run, but Dipper ends up hiding with Bash under some clothes. And one of the Imperial Guards comes down into the stage and takes his sword to the halfling, and Dipper ends up coming to save the halfling, which was a really actual cool and very pretty scene to see. So I liked it kind of going into Dipper's Aetherist kind of ancestry too, and his affiliation with the stars, because there's also a scene there where Dipper is in this like trance-like state-ish. Well, while he's healing, there's like these little sparks of light kind of gathering around the wound, and there's this like little scene there that I thought was really cool. I thought that was like really sweet. It's something like kind of wholesome.
Yeah, kind of beautiful in the way that it happened. Yeah.
So I know we've only done one other cast like segment, but I am pretty sure I'm still right when I say I'm always going to love doing these.
Personally, I love all the things that we do on our podcast.
Okay. You're not wrong. I guess that means we both love interviewing the cast behind the characters.
Speaking of, up next is Under the Table. All right, so we are starting with an icebreaker. It's just one question. How do you like to celebrate your birthday?
In the more recent years, I've been doing something different every year. Last year, I went to see Niagara Falls, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, especially did you see it at night?
No, in the daytime.
Man.
Funny thing was, I have a horrible fear of heights, So when I actually gauged where I was comparatively to the falls, because I literally gripped the fence and fell, like my knees just gave out. So that was interesting experience.
The last few years, I do something different every year. Usually it involves some type of alcohol or a bar of sorts. One year I went on a bar crawl around Disney, which was pretty cool. Usually it involves alcohol and a good time with friends.
Mo, I don't know if you shared, I have a horrible memory, so I could not recall if you shared this with us in a prior interview or not. But I was watching through the session with Team 2, and I saw most of the cold open, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about, like, how Lev, like, got into that situation to be kind of, like, employed by Bello.
Okay, so during the cold open, it's an NPC. It's actually one of my very first 5th edition characters. It's a dwarf named Brex. He's an artificer. He's an old character, an NPC. I was very surprised that he actually used him. I did write him in my backstory. So I was super surprised, and I didn't know. As soon as the screen popped up and my huge face is up on the screen by myself, I'm like, oh crap, what the hell did I get myself into? So I'm like freaking out. And then he mentions Brex, and I was like, oh, it's my first character. I was like, and so I was super happy about that. Brex, they're best friends. And I wanted to tie in for why a giant, from the mountains would be, hanging out with the dwarves and whatnot. And I figured, and I do have a backstory where that he's friends with Brex, and Brex vouched for him. He's been traveling for a little while and taking the occasional gig, and this is probably the most paid he's ever been. And now that's kind of ruined now by a small team of thieves, unfortunately. But oh well.
That's awesome. I love that there's just kind of like an ode to your very first character in there. So, Fargrim, all right, my guy, why must you keep sacrificing yourself? Insert crying emoji here.
Well, the first time winky face emoji was for you guys, literally for you guys to buy time, literally establish trust between myself and Mist, a character that I haven't really talked to in the first episode or so, with two things that I really care about, which is my ship and my bug. Only wanting to do it once, but I just felt that opportunity came up because I was just like, dude, I can distract them and I could fly. Literally was to buy time for all of you to figure out what you guys wanted to do.
I loved that first scene where Geen is Geen is buying time for everyone, and it led to that scene where he's just kind of like shooting as he's like hopping off of this balcony kind of backward, which I thought was really cool. I think I also, to me, kind of makes sense to Geen's character.
Geen is very confusing to me.
I've built a character that has to care about things, even though pirates are typically careless. So I have to think like a captain, even when I'm a part of a crew. I will not be sacrificing myself very much, but distracting people so you guys can run here and there, for sure.
Yeah, it made sense. I feel like I get this impression from Geen that he is a very empathetic and kind of loyal character.
So, Lev, this question is from a fellow member of your team, Raina. I believe it was Raina that also has tattoos. And she was just curious what your character's tattoos are. Like, specifically. I know that you said it's like God of War, kind of, but you can describe it a little bit for us.
I would say they would probably be giant runes. There would probably be giant text that would be tattooed. Very ritualistic, very tribal-like. That's just my imagining of how giant kin or, would wear certain things like that. Very similar. I mean, he's not exactly in perfect shape. I intended for Lev to be kind of overweight, kind of similar to me. I just kind of wanted him not to be a normal giant or a normal guy, but I want him to be like,
Well, no, the thing is, you wanted him to be normal.
I wanted dad.
You didn't want him to be. This is the fantasy like ideal, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You wanted him to be a normal guy.
This is dad bod giant, literally.
Fargrim, so how you think we're gonna get out of this? Do you think we're gonna be able to escape unnoticed, or will we get caught at some point?
Lore-wise, Geen has put himself in predicaments similarly like this through his backstory and his smuggling rings in the Varkos and Verisian Sea area. But from a player standpoint, there's pieces of a puzzle that is missing to me, obviously, to the party. But to me as a player, however they got the winged bat creature into the picture is a major piece to the puzzle that we need to solve. I think once we prove ourselves in the evidence room that I was retrieving the body, not sticking the body up there, and the curtains weren't, to hide the body. They were to gently put it down, not play splatterball with everybody. That is what happened. How I think we're going to get out of this is the strange dance of diplomacy, improving ourselves through dirty work, which is what we do.
So scene study is our next segment for today, but that actually reminds me that this episode of Tabling the Narrative is sponsored by World Anvil. And on World Anvil, you can put together the best of scenes by organizing everything behind the scene.
If you create any of your own scenes, then you know how much work it takes to put the perfect scene together. And World Anvil makes all of that a lot easier by helping you stay organized.
WorldAnvil.com offers a variety of tools to organize places, people, even things like timelines, all in one place.
It's not just for scenes either. It's for entire worlds that you create, whether as a game master, a writer, or any other type of world builder.
So if you need an all-in-one world building tool, World Anvil is for you.
And we've got you covered. You can use our code GHOSTLIGHT for 51% off any yearly membership.
The link, by the way, is in the description if you want to check it out.
You know what I want to check out next? Our scene study.
Okay, I was going to say I can't wait for scene study, but it's kind of already happening. So it's time to break down some of the most eventful moments in the latest sessions of Oathfire.
Starting with whenever M and Mist kind of heard the murder of the Emperor. We didn't really see it happen, right? But we definitely witnessed it by ear.
Mist and M are kind of climbing up this tower into up to the balcony of the Emperor's quarters to do some investigating. And there's this screeching going on. They get to the balcony and they see this streak. Isn't it? It's like a brown or dark colored streak that just kind of
either brown or gray. I think it was brown though, yeah.
Yeah. And it just kind of I don't know, like streaks out the window, disappears, totally gone, super creepy. And then Mist and him walk in, and we're like, this place is covered in blood, and the Emperor's body is like stuck to the ceiling, dead.
And we're like, oh. And we had heard some like yelling, arguing, which is another interesting thing because some of the Thren'kai, there are different types of Thren'kai, but some of them can communicate with people, and they can be very manipulative and secretive and all that kind of stuff. So we heard two voices. I get the vibe that they were arguing with each other, and the Thren'kai could have been speaking telepathically, I suppose. If someone's arguing, they know that the person can understand them, and it was getting more and more heated. So then later, whenever we finally make it to the temple of the Idolonare, do you remember whenever M first made it into the temple? It was the very first session, so I understand if you don't remember it. Ghost had mentioned, hey, you see the names of the books and stuff on the side, and it's talking about the different types of Thren'kai, which is why we went there.
Backtracking, we do know for certain that it is a Thren'kai because we found this piece of paper in the Emperor's quarters that it was like a torn piece of paper with Idolonare script.
Yes, with Idolonare.
Yeah, yep.
The scripts of the Idolonare, which is an Idolonare.
And we took that back to Issa Thistlehorn, who is this presiding Idolonare elder in the temple. And she confirmed that it is a specific type of Thren'kai that she wants us all to be hunting down.
Yes, and I just realized that I don't have up my notes, so I don't remember what the name of it was.
It's called a Vornakraith.
Yeah.
Jinx. This particular Vornakraith, so looking back at my notes, they basically have a cycle where they kind of feed on things until they lay their eggs, and they breed like insects, so hundreds of other Vornakraith at a time. So it's our job as Team 1 to hunt down and kill these things, creatures, before they just murder everyone in the city.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really Mist's job. You know, she's like, you're the only other one here, so I'm assigning it to you. Maybe you can get these yahoos to help out. You know, it's kind of how it went down. So now we know what's going to be happening soon.
So we're going to look at another scene, and this one is one that kind of unites the party of Team 2. So imagine from the very beginning of Oathfire, almost everyone in each team is, well, for the most part, strangers. In this case, they were kind of half and half for Team 2. So some of them knew each other, some of them didn't. So there were kind of these two halves of a group coming together. And this is one of those scenes that really helped solidify that connection.
You have the group of 3 that are just here to learn. Like, well, technically one's here to learn and the other 2 are just kind of with them, you know? So they're just civilians, essentially, in this whole grand scheme of things that have some experience. And then the other 2 are like protectors of like the Dwarven King, essentially. They're part of that whole group that came there. They're completely opposite. And there were 2 key moments that played into that group solidifying as a team. And the first one was when Meadowlark became a red squirrel.
Yeah, I think so. Red.
And crawled up Lev's shoulder and just kind of sat there and was like, okay, so I know you're a nice person, And there's more going on here. And that started the whole, like, Lev being like, he talked to Bello, he's like, hey, something's up. Of course, that was just the first. The second moment that really finishes bringing Bello over to the side of the thieves was the fact that the guards just, like, straight up murdered a random innocent civilian.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. There's a point where, Dipper is smashed through the stage and they're hiding from the Imperial Guard, and the other half, right, the non-thieves, this other half of the party are just kind of witnessing the Imperial Guards going after them and then killing that innocent halfling.
I'm trying to, like, understand the Imperial Guards a little bit, right? Because we know that if you are accused of a crime, they ask questions later, action first. So the sheer fact that someone else was down there, it just makes me wonder if the guards, because they were talking about the guards are corrupt. I don't really know if that's really true. You know what I mean? Like, they could be corrupt, as from Team 1, like, we know there's other stuff going on in there from, like, the Thren'kai. But also the ones that were in the Accords, they know that there's stuff going on within, the Emperor's, like, inner circle, right? So obviously they could be corrupt, but I don't really think that this moment proves that they are corrupt.
No, I think it's really undetermined, because really we only have this one instance of one guard attacking that innocent actor. Could just be that particular guard. Could just be that particular people they were with. It could be that that's just how they treat the Imperial Guard, kind of treats people and works here. There's another example of the Imperial Guard being a little bit violent, which is in Team 1 session 2, where the Imperial Guard is patrolling this particular alleyway and kind of go after this homeless Dracona. And so there is kind of like some hints at abuse of power, but it's not, I don't think it's solidified yet. I don't think we have enough information. And even if there is some abuse of power there, that's still a totally different thing from the Imperial Guard being corrupt the way we assume, like, the Gilded Saints are. I think that kind of wraps that scene up, and I want to address one last scene to study, which is the brief kind of dissecting or evaluation of Team 2 in their session of the Pact Scroll. So if you missed it, essentially Team 2 ends up in possession of the Pact Scroll, the Scroll of Kaldrathar, which once united the kingdoms of Arendor in the First Accords. And it was supposed to unite the kingdoms in the Second Accords. They end up in possession of this Pact Scroll, and we get a little bit of information from Meadowlark and from Ballo of kind of analyzing this scroll. So Meadowlark recognizes some symbols on the Pact Scroll from pictures of old temples from this old sect of the Idolinare, who actually dealt with the old gods. Whereas Ballo sees these symbols and recognizes them as appearing on the World Forge.
That whole conversation was a lot of going back and forth on trying to figure out what in the world are we going to do now that we have this. Like, now that this is in our hands, what do we do?
Yeah, there's some discussion here about breaking out Kale, the High Provost of the Collegium, from prison, which is Dipper's idea originally because she kind of helped them out. We have a discussion of Ballo and Lev visiting their king to kind of discuss or warn or caution about some things going on. And then in terms of the Pact Scroll, we have Dipper, and there's this agreement amongst the party that Dipper is going to take the scroll and hide it and not give any of that knowledge to anyone else in the party. So it's just him who knows where it is. However, interestingly, Dipper goes into this trance-like state that's kind of associated with this aspect of his ancestry, and in a very uncharacteristic way for Dipper, just very seriously just takes the scroll, turns, walks away, and leaves their hiding spot. And this is where we're at with the Scroll of Kaldrathar right now.
Yeah, we have a lot more to go. I'm looking forward to seeing how that scene progresses, because I know that now, I think the plan is now to, when they go talk to their king, to try to see if they can use some sort of power or something that the king has, or some insider knowledge maybe, to go talk to Kale. There's a few different things that they're hoping to get there.
Yeah, I think that kind of concludes our Steen study. So let's be real. We're only in the very beginning of Oathfire, and things are really heating up already.
But to cool things down a bit, seems to be the right time to start looking behind the screen at a few backstage moments among the cast and our GM.
All right, how do y'all think it went down? Let's start with that.
Geen, stop trying to get yourself arrested.
That's what I'm thinking.
What kind of pirate is like fuck me running?
Did you just say fuck me runny?
Running.
All right, so what are your initial thoughts and feelings about what went down this session?
It could have been way worse, but I'm happy how it ended.
It certainly could have been worse.
I'm scared. For me, like the whole could be, betrayer from the past.
Did it go the way you thought it was going to go?
100%. Yeah. It's pretty much exactly what I thought was going to happen.
I am very, very happy with how the team came together.
I like that the connections you all had made previously really, really came to the forefront in the middle of all that. I got to say, I am as a GM. This is my first time doing like play to find out, kind of structured play to find out, but like mostly play to find out, and I'm loving it. You guys are just like killing it. When you're like, Ghost, you better not be bringing him into that. But you brought it up. If you succeeded, I was gonna just literally roll odds and evens,
whether it was him or not.
Yeah.
How he was leaning between the guards and the group of them, and then seeing him just drop down and kill a random person without even questioning anything. I was like, no, fuck this.
Yeah. No.
That I'm actually glad that happened, to be honest with you, because it's like we had nothing to do with whatever you've stolen or anything like that. So why would we, want to fight against the guards? But as soon as that happened, and I saw that they were going to attack Balo, I was like, no, oh hell no.
I like how the group dynamics are sort of emerging through the action. Like it puts us in situations. Like I really like the moment with Mist where Shuri and Mist had some very clear ideological differences. Neither one were immoral. Both made sense. But we just fundamentally disagreed with each other. And then also just on like for Shurian's character level, he is going to have to make those kind of decisions in the future. And he doesn't like it. So it just like puts it like his beliefs right back in his face in the worst way. So I love situations like that.
I'm sure we will have other dead guards that I can steal down an aqueduct.
Yeah, that would have given us so much information, though. Like that's what we're really. Because I wanted to jump to conclusions on a few times, and I had to stop myself. It's like, no, I don't know what this is yet. I don't know what's going on yet.
I was not planning to engage in violence. I was just originally trying to get Lev and Balo to back off.
The only violence I managed to do was destroying a couple like stalls and stuff to like distract.
Like I'm trying to get into the rhythm of like playing a new character. and M's interactions with people, and it's turned out differently than I had like originally planned because of just the way the group has interacted with each other.
And the other thing is that in the last episode, the first scene with Shurian was him looking out on the balcony and wondering what's out there, but he's stuck in the palace having to deal with all these politics. So in a perverse way, he's gotten what he wanted.
Yeah. What do you hope for next session?
Prison break.
We're going to have to put a crew together if we need a crew, and we're all going to have to make a detailed plan for survival.
I'm actually very interested to see what happens with the king as well.
I want to learn more about my friends. I've met M before, and I consider M a friend in the sense of curiosities. Mist, I'm starting to trust. The Fresh Prince, really cool. Has my back, especially when it mattered in court.
No, I agree with you, Fargrim. I think the biggest thing is just like our characters getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this whole like session, we don't know each other.
Yeah, I think just with the rhythm of things like starting off the next session with some like proper actual downtime and like getting to talk to each other and like, hey, what are you doing? And each of us kind of having different moments with each other or together.
What's Ballow's favorite small creature?
Bash?
I'll have to get back to you with that.
Bash. Do you have any updates to your theory? Or any of your theories? Or new ones?
I think the king is going to be involved. This would be Balo's king or Sean's king. Something tells me there's going to be something dirty there. But maybe that's the inner Reyna in me.
There's a part of me, like Mimi, not Dipper, who's worried that the person who gave this to Meadowlark is actually the bad guy, and us keeping this away is doing a bad thing.
I don't have an update to my theory, but learning, like having it solidified in terms of the Thren'kai's involvement leads me to wonder about the scroll and like the Gilded Saints, and obviously M knows nothing, but it just leaves me with more questions about, okay, are these two things related, and if so, how and why?
Well, I think the Emperor was involved in whatever was happening, but someone didn't do something properly, and then it went sideways, and he was killed.
I think I'm not really sure I have updated a working theory, but I do think that Shurian is actually going to be relieved that it's a crazy monster or someone releasing a crazy monster, because if it was just some sort of political backstabbing, that's like grounds to go to war, right? Like that's the relationship between Dracarn and Corvallis is done.
All right, everybody.
All right, good night. Good
All
times.
right,
Thank
good
you,
night.
everyone.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, so I was looking back at our last episode of Tabling the Narrative, and it was actually really fun to see all of our interactions, even on break and after the session too.
Yes, watching that episode, I loved that we got to see Ghost's interaction with the group too, the man behind the mask, as it were.
Or, hear me out, the man behind the screen. Actually, no. The man under the table.
And that's our cue to start our next segment, Under the Table, with our very own GM Ghost.
Thank you for joining us today to answer some questions.
I think to start this interview off, Jen has some comments and statements to share from the cast.
Yes, I do. Because as you know, they don't always have questions. So they just want to like have a statement. And, you know, you should know what they are.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
I appreciate them. I appreciate them.
So from Teacup, He said, less a question, more of a comment. Feel free to fear spin to have me get controlled by this force. He'll work with you on it. Which, I don't know what you're planning on doing with him. He's going to be gone next week, right?
Yeah,
Or
let's
the
talk
next
about
time
that
we're
because
playing?
that's something interesting that I decided to do the last minute. So initially, he's I think it's he said it. He's like an elf with a little something extra. He left it to me to decide what that extra was. We rolled for something, and it's acceptable, but I think not having a plan and just like prompting him seems more interesting to me,
Yeah.
and it could go either way right now.
It's pretty early on, so. Okay, so from Christy, she said, no questions, great work, fun session. Zira, kudos to Ghost for pushing that hard with the halfling, the NPC dying, And then Toleran said, yes, he does have questions for you, but you can't tell them, so he's just not going to ask them.
Mm-hmm.
Mo wants to know if the king is safe, and I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think Ghost is going to say.
I don't know.
What's the percentage of chance that he could be safe?
50-50? I
There
don't.
you go, Mo. I was like, I know he's not going to be able to answer this question,
Yeah, it's like you all are building this world. I'm just like asking questions. So it's going to be up to somebody.
And this reminded me of Bash. This NPC was so much fun. So looking back at Team 2's recent session, I loved seeing Bash, I wouldn't say necessarily poking a bear, but just kind of interacting in a way that, not even instigated, but just continued and, thrived off of the momentum of this whole scene where they're getting drunk and they're having fun and they're going to do something, even falling asleep, at the very end where they're fighting the Imperium guards. I am wondering, what was your inspiration for creating Bash's character?
My inspiration for Bash, he's very much like that in my mind, like that stereotypical, well, maybe not stereotypical dwarven, but initially I was like, oh, there's got to be more than just a couple of dwarven guards, right? All their guards are a giant and an orc, right? So there's got to be a dwarf guard, and I'm sure there's other ones as well, right? But he was supposed to be cannon fodder, to be honest with you. I thought initially when they all came together and they were confronted by the Dracona, the idea would be that he would be the one. He would shoot first. He would be Han Solo. He would be the one that, in case the players didn't want to engage this, he would be the one to be like, oh, all drunken and attack. I didn't have the opportunity because Dipper tried to psych him out with the scroll and no one's like, run, So then what happens to Bash? He just kind of becomes this drunken comic relief moment where he falls into the aqueduct, knocks himself cold, and is now snoring underneath. So now he's alive in the world. So now he's there. He's part of the team. So
I love that.
That's my way in, I guess. Bash is now he's my ongoing NPC.
You got a character in Team 2.
That's going to be so much fun. I want one.
I'm sure.
Give us our NPC. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure he's essentially their Issa, I guess, at this point.
Right. So, Ghost, why did you use all of that fear? Can you just pretend that no one gave it to you?
I get so much so quickly. I just felt like, listen, all right, so here's a good thing Here's a good reason is that I felt like during the Shattered God, I wasn't using it enough. I was just changing story elements without necessarily justifying it with the use of fear. So there's story elements that I might feel bad about. A good example would be if you watch this last week's episode or this last week's session with Meadowlark trying so much with their critical success on their attack roll, trying not to end the life of that Draconian commander down in the aqueduct, which just turned out that whole scene just ended in a really awesome place that I was not expecting. The beauty of Daggerheart. But spending fear to have the giant crush its head, that is a completely justified use of fear.
I'm kind of wondering from your perspective, you said earlier on, and I think during a break, maybe last session for Team 1, how you've written a lot less description and things like that for Oathfire than you did the Shattered God. How is it like, what does it feel like to you, and how are you enjoying, or like, how is it complicating even to allow characters this level of description in what they're doing?
I'm really enjoying it, to be honest with you. Like, I love, and I used to say this a lot back before, I love starting the session with an opening description. Like, this is setting the tone for the players. And I think I said this, like, I made a few TikToks that were like lessons learned from the Shattered God, or just from playing Daggerheart a little bit. I'm not approaching this as like, hey, we're playing a game and, here are your weapons and here are your targets and go. We're very much telling a story. And I think that is first when it comes to Daggerheart, is telling that story is the main thing that we're doing. And we're just giving the tools to tell that story. So I like the idea of walking into a session like you're opening the first few pages of like a lit RPG or a fantasy novel. You are setting the tone for the players. At least that's what I'm trying to do. These are the type of descriptions we're looking for. This is kind of an example I am setting to give players the instruction, but also the freedom to describe things in the way that they want. And I'm just constantly repeating to them that, like, hey, if you want something to happen, when I prompt, say what you want to happen. If it's really far out there, I will correct it, like in some kind of a way. People have been very respectful with that. Like, there hasn't been anything where I'm like, nah, but like, if you want it, try it.
Thank you for coming again, Ghost. We're going to see you again soon.
Very soon.
This is a threat. Just kidding.
And we're going to get you.
Okay. Look, I know we're not under the table anymore, but I'm still looking at Ghost when I say this. I'm still sad that our Roll the Dice segment never made it into episode 3 of Tabling the Narrative.
It's not Ghost's fault. We just had so much to try to fit into that one episode, which turned out great, by the way. If anyone listening or watching hasn't seen it yet.
And this one is going to be even better because we're rolling the dice once again in a desperate attempt to predict what's going to happen next for each of our Oathfire teams. So roll the dice, Jen.
Okay. Okay, just so everyone knows, we just spent a few minutes picking out the dice. Okay, so this is the hope dice, and this is the fear dice, just so you know. All right, hold on. Me putting them down just then did not count as a roll. I had to get out my phone to record.
All right.
Doesn't count.
Are you sure? Because I heard dice rolling.
Yes, because I didn't even say which team it was for.
I'm sorry, I'm teasing you.
Rolling for team 1. Oh. I mean, it's okay. It's a 9 with fear.
Yeah, I don't like these odds.
So 9 with fear for group 1. Let's see. Okay. So we are going to head towards the Thren'kai, but we're going to get caught by the guards on the way there. And we're going to end up being interrogated and imprisoned. And we're going to have to convince them there's a Thren'kai, it's this monster, and they're going to kill everybody. And we have to go kill it before all of the babies get born.
Yeah, this, I don't really like this, especially because I feel like we're going to end up having to escape because there's no convincing these people, A, that we didn't kill the Emperor, and B, that Thren'kai even exist.
All right, so that was Team 1's prediction based on that 9 with fear.
All right, roll for Team 2.
All right, this is the roll for Team 2. Oh, why is there so much better.
Oh.
It's a 13 with hope. Okay, a 13 with hope. Okay, so they are going to make it to the king, have a nice conversation. He's not going to have any like help to get into the prison area. He's not going to have that. But he is going to be safe. And Raina's not going to get caught because she's supposed to be kind of, like keeping an eye from a distance. She's not going to get caught. That's going to be fine. But they're going to have to still find their own way into the prison. But someone's going to overhear them talking about it to the king. And they're going to drop a hint or help him out or something.
I don't know about the helping out part. Everything here seems hostile to everyone right now. I mean, everyone in Team 1 and Team 2 in our parties, that is.
True.
I also am wondering how the prison escape, like the prison break is going to go. I don't really know. Maybe they like fail the prison break, but don't, like nothing happens to them in repercussion.
Yeah,
because I feel like
their
a
thing
13
was a success, so I feel like they have to get in there somehow. But they did get the success of like Raina not getting caught and them getting to talk to the king. Maybe the king has another bit of information that helps with something completely different. Maybe it's that.
This could be
instead.
true.
Well, that was it.
Yup, that was it for Roll the Dice, and this, unfortunately, concludes this episode of Tabling the Narrative.
Hold on, why unfortunately?
Because I'm sad that it's ending.
I mean, me too, but there's always, next episode.
Okay, speaking of next episode, we'll be back with some other scene studies, more of our favorite moments, another peek behind the scenes, and of course, another look under the table.
As always, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye! Bye.